Let's take a moment to talk about my first love, the team that brought me to sports broadcasting as a whole, in the Phoenix Suns. The Phoenix Suns have been a disappointment this year. The Phoenix Suns have not been as what I expected them to be. I thought Bradley Beal was not as injury-prone as people thought. I thought largely the Washington Wizards were keeping him out of games to quote-unquote rest him, when in reality they were really tanking. But Bradley Beal clearly just can't stay healthy. And clearly it was a bad move to bring Bradley Beal in. And at this point, if you think it was a good move to bring Kevin Durant in, hindsight is 2020. It just hasn't been the right move for the Phoenix Suns. Now, I'm not arguing that Mikal Bridges and Cam Johnson on this team would win a championship. It might be more fun. It might be more, oh yeah, those are homegrown guys. That'd be cool. But Cam Johnson, Mikal Bridges, look at what they're doing in Brooklyn. It's really bad. They're fourth, fifth guys on a championship-winning team. Mikal Bridges at his best is maybe a third. They're not players that were ever going to bring this team a championship. Either they were going to have to draft a star and hope he develops quickly to win a championship, or they were always going to have to trade one of those players to get a superstar. They put all those chips in the middle of the table and did it with Kevin Durant. But now we know as Suns fans, this team is just not cutting it. The Phoenix Suns have zero chance to win a title this year. I'm sorry that I'm the person to break that to you, but if you still believe the Phoenix Suns will win the title this year, I would love to know what dream you're in, what fantasy land you're in, because I would love to join you. Let me say that again. If you believe the Phoenix Suns can or will win the title this year, I would love to live in the fantasy land that you live in, because you are dreaming at this point. This team just doesn't care. This team just thinks they're going to roll the ball out in the playoffs, beat everyone in 4 out of 7 games, and coast their way to an NBA championship. What I saw the other night against the San Antonio Spurs was a gutless, tireless, lack of work, lack of effort, lack of everything you can think of, lack of every adjective, every verb you can think of for the Phoenix Suns. That's what we saw. Kevin Durant at this point largely disappears in fourth quarters. Devin Booker is not a number one, Suns fans. He's just simply not. He's a very, very good number 2, which is not a slight on Devin Booker. Outside of Stephen Curry, guys in the frame that Devin Booker is in, both height and weight, don't largely lift Larry O'Brien trophies. Usually those guys are second fiddle, are Robins, not usually Batmans. And Kevin Durant, maybe it's just me, but Kevin Durant has just simply not been as advertised. I feel like, yes, his stats are great. Yes, Kevin Durant's stats, his stat lines are awesome. He's obviously a key contributor to this team, but he just disappears in spots. It feels like Kevin Durant is missing every big three or shot that the Phoenix Suns need this year. That's what I feel like with Kevin Durant. And this Suns team is just gutless. They're soft. They can be pushed around. They can't get a defensive stop to save their lives at times. And it's something I had mentioned before. You don't need elite defenders to win a championship. You just need fine, average, willing defenders, because in the NBA, just being a willing defender goes really, really far. Ask Chris Paul, ask Stephen Curry. Both those guys, undersized guards who are willing defenders who don't absolutely get picked on constantly to where it's a fault that you can't play those guys. That's just not something that's came in. And whether it's Devin Booker, whether it's Bradley Beal, I don't know if they're trying, but it doesn't look like it. And now with Yusuf Nurkic, who has a sprained ankle, Bradley Beal, he hurt his finger, he's injured again. I just don't know if this Phoenix Suns team has any chance of winning a singular playoff series. And if you were to ask me today, this Suns team, who has 9 games left against all playoff teams, if they fell out of the playoffs as a whole, I'd be like, yeah, that makes sense. And if they make the playoffs as the 6th seed, they wouldn't win a singular playoff series. There is 8 to 10 games left. There is nothing more that this team can show me in 8 to 10 games that can change my mind. They could go on a 10-game win streak. I'm very confident that they won't do that, but they could, and nothing would happen. Nothing would happen for me. This team is gutless. This team is effortless. They just don't care at times. They are way too cocky, way too conceited. And it brings me back to a quote that Devin Booker had about DeAndre Ayton this year when he played Portland for the first time, which was basically DeAndre Ayton had a really big motor tonight. He was very motivated. I would love to see DeAndre Ayton bring that type of competitiveness and that kind of fierceness every night. Well, Devin Booker, look in the mirror. Tell the rest of your team that. Because outside of Grayson Allen and maybe Kevin Durant, these guys just don't bring it every night. They play up or they play down to their competition. They'll beat the Denver Nuggets, but then they'll lose to the Wemby-less Spurs. It's embarrassing. And this team, with all the torture that Phoenix Suns fans have been through this year, are closer to a blow-up than they are in NBA Finals. They're closer to a blow-up than winning a singular playoff series. Suns fans, ask yourself this. NBA superstars don't stay with the team that they drafted with forever, largely in the new NBA. It's all about mobilization, moving on from one team, using them, and then moving on to the next team. The Phoenix Suns are closer to trading Devin Booker than you think. They just simply are. Bradley Beal is a contract that is untradeable. I see Suns fans all the time, trade Bradley Beal, get Bradley Beal out of here. You would have to attach multiple first-round picks that the Phoenix Suns don't have to get rid of Bradley Beal. He's untradeable. He will finish his career as a Phoenix Sun. I'm sorry to be the bearer of bad news. He's not going anywhere. No one wants that contract. The Phoenix Suns don't want that contract. Kevin Durant is getting older, and at some point, he's going to fall off a cliff. The Phoenix Suns are going to have to trade Kevin Durant this offseason. They're just going to have to. Kevin Durant is getting older, and it's their only tradable asset left. They're going to have to give Grayson Allen $75 million in the offseason. Devin Booker. Superstars don't stay on teams forever. Stars don't stay on teams forever. They get moved like that all the time. And I'm sorry to break the bad news to you, Suns fans. The Suns are closer to trading Devin Booker than they are winning a singular playoff series. Because when this blows up in the Phoenix Suns' faces, when they don't win a playoff series, they're going to have to be forced to go into desperate, dire circumstances. And one of those options is, well, crap, we have no picks. Our only asset's Kevin Durant. We're going to have to trade him, but we're going to get pennies on the dollar for what we traded for him. If we want to reboot this team, it's going to have to be trading Devin Booker. Because a team of Bradley Beal and Devin Booker is not making the playoffs. A team of Bradley Beal and Devin Booker is not scaring any teams away. So you might have to blow it up. I'm not saying they will. I'm not saying I want to do that. I'm just saying in the predicament that the Suns are in, they're in for a real gut check because they are closer to trading any of their star players than they are winning a playoff series right now. Frank Vogel is gutless. This team is gutless. They don't care at times. They overlook opponents, and they haven't won a damn thing in the NBA. That's the saddest part about it. A team that hasn't won a damn thing in the NBA, a team in players who have not won a finals, Bradley Beal, who I'm not sure has won a playoff series in his career, acts as if they can just roll the ball out and win a championship. Beat teams 4 out of 7 times. Maybe I'm wrong, but I'm willing to bet I'm not wrong. This Suns team has so many problems. They're so gutless. They don't play defense. They go cold at times. The offense is methodical. It's very slow. It's hero ball at times. It's Kevin Durant, it's your turn to go off. It's Devin Booker, it's your turn to go off. And then players are just sitting in the corners. From the top down, this team needs a complete revamp, a complete reset. I don't know what that looks like, but after losing to the San Antonio Spurs, that was the gut check for me. This team has no chance to win a title. And any hope I had of them getting out of their own way this year is out of the way. Maybe I look stupid. Maybe I look dumb. Maybe they do get it figured out. But I have next to zero belief that they will do that.